Hello, my friends. Good evening. It's so good to see you back here again on this exciting webinar on a law of awareness. And if you can do me a favor, I know that we kind of didn't get a chance last week to see all the slides. So I'm going to just do something real quick and see if you can see the slides that are on here. And if you can, that would be awesome. So let me just send a note out to here. Can you see the pages? So let me see if you can see that. Let me know if you can see that. That'd be awesome. If you can see that, if you want to chat with me, just saying that, hey, I can see, that'd be great. Let me see who all's on here. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Sorry, guys, we're using a new system here, so let me see who can. Let me see here. Can you see the pages? Josh. Okay, perfect. Please let me know. All right, hopefully you can see this. I am so excited for you. We talked last week about the law of intent, being intentional, and I'm going to continue on the law of awareness, the law of awareness. And I think this is a real critical one for a lot of us when we talk about the law of awareness, and it's going to really help you truly understand where you are, just really being aware of your growth. You've been having that growth in your life, and so we want to make sure that you can really see the value in the growth. So yes, okay, perfect. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. So the law of awareness. So here we go. So you must know yourself to grow yourself. You must know yourself to grow yourself. So who are you? That's the question we want to ask tonight. Who are you? Who are you? Do you have a sense of direction? Have you known who you are? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Who are you? And do you have a sense of direction? Who are you, and do you have a sense of direction? Okay. We look at the word, the story of Henry Ford. If you maybe read the book, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, you will hear really understand the story there. But I want to give this to you, help you understand it. While this may be an extreme story, it is possible that many of our lives, many of our lives is that we don't really know, or we don't really have a matter into what we really know what direction we're going in. For example, we don't even know who we are sometimes. And so I love that story, Henry, in the story here, and the 15 Values of Laws of Growth. It really talks about really saying, really asking the question, who am I? Or who are you? And why do I do what I do? And why do I learn? Why do I read? And so when we look at leadership, there's some questions that I want to help you and I answer the question in this area. First one is when we ask, who are you? To grow yourself, you must know yourself. One, you must know your strengths. Do you know your strength as a man? What is your strength as a husband, as a leader, as a leader in the community? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are you weak in? Are you really going to be honest with yourself? Leaders are honest with themselves. Are you got to be honest with yourself and say, here's my weaknesses. Here's what I consistently struggle with, the weak areas in my life. And then you got to look at what is your interest? What are you truly interested in? What are you interested in? Because a leader knows what they're interested in. Opportunities. What opportunities are you looking to grow in? What opportunities are you looking to expand in your business? What opportunity are you looking to expand and opportunities that you want to grow in your business or your family or in the relationship or the community of faith? Okay, what are you willing to grow in? Okay, that's the key. So sorry about that. I got to step on my notes here. Okay. So I'll give you a second to kind of write that down. You must know yourself. You must know yourself, and you must know your strengths, your weaknesses, your interests, your opportunities. Where are you, and where do you want to be? That's a great, profound question, brothers. Is where are you, and where do you want to be? Tonight, I want to ask you the question, and reflecting. Where are you? And where do you want to be right now? Where do you want to be personally as a husband, as a father, as a person in the community of faith, a business owner? Where do you want to be in the next month? Or let me break it down this way. Daily, where do you want to be daily? Month, okay? In year, 2 years, and 5 years. Where do you want to be? Ask yourself that question. Begin to plan around that. Where do I want to be? Knowing these 4 critical areas of your life tell you where you are. Okay? Let me say that again. Knowing these 4 critical areas of your life tell you where you are. It tells you exactly where you are, where you're going. Amen? It really tells you that. Okay? So I'm going to just speed ahead here. To reach your full potential, you must know where you are and where you want to be. You must know where you are and where you want to be at. There are 3 kinds of people when it comes to finding direction. There are 3 kinds of people when it comes to finding direction. The one is people who don't know what they want, people who know what they will like to do, people who know what they like to do. Okay, that's that one. Okay, or people who don't know what they like to do. Excuse me. It's people who don't know what they like to do. So let me break that down. There are 3 kind of people, and I want you to find out what area do you fall in. Okay, because once you know what area you fall in, what happens is you can really tackle those areas and really deal with those areas. And begin to shape your leadership around those areas that you're struggling, areas that you want to fulfill. Remember, leadership is producing results, okay? So let's look at it. So people who don't know what they would like to do, they are confused, okay? People who know what they want to do, but they don't do it. They are frustrated. Are you frustrated right now? People who know what they want, but don't do it, they are frustrated. Ask yourself the area right now in your life, okay? Are you frustrated right now? Are you frustrated? And what areas are you frustrated in? What areas are you frustrated in? And then people who know what they want to do, but don't do it. They are frustrated. They are truly frustrated. They're truly frustrated. I cannot say it again. They know that they really know what they want to do, but they're frustrated. And you got to ask yourself the question, am I putting myself in a place? Am I putting my family in a place of frustration? I know what I want to do, but I'm not really doing that. And so when you're frustrated, that means you tend to not do what things that you need to do to support and to get your family to where they need to be at. Okay, like I said last week, you are the lead in your home, and our spouses want us to follow. They want to follow quality leadership. They want to know where you're going. How many times has your wife held on to things that you made promises to, and over intense fellowship, she brings them back up again? And because here's the deal, that's a flaw in leadership. Okay, that's a flaw in leadership. Leaders they know where they want to go, they do it, and they make it happen. Okay, I hope this is helping you. Let's move on. People who know what they want to do and do it. These people are fulfilled. This is where I want you to do. This is where I want this. I hope this is where your whole end result is. People who know what they want and they do it. What do you want? And are you ready to do it? What do you want? And are you ready to do it? That's so good, my friends. That's so good. That's so good. Now I want you to live this thing out. Live it out, okay? Live it out. Aware. Are you aware? Okay? Becoming aware of your identity. Here it is, brothers. Becoming aware of your identity. Many times, guys, we don't know our identity. Even you may be a Christian for a long time, and I'm just talking about that, but have been a place of, in your career, has been a leader, whether you've been a law enforcement, whether you've been a contractor, whether you've been in construction, you're leading a crew of people, you have somewhere of leadership. But at the end of the day, when you get home, do you know who you are? Are you aware of your identity? What is your identity? I really believe right now in America, a lot of men have their identity robbed right now. And when your identity is robbed, that means you're not growing. Here's the deal. You always want to maintain a level of growing. You want to become a participant of always growing. Leaders grow. Leaders read. Leaders are always looking for a place to grow and to pour in. That's why you're on this webinar. That's why we're doing this webinar, because I really believe in adding value to men right now so that you can grow. Be a better husband. Be a better leader. Be a better business owner. People want to follow someone where they know where they're going. We all heard that before. So how do I find how do we find your passion and purpose? I've talked to folks this past week about passion and purpose. Passion and purpose. So what does it mean to be personally aware? What is that? What does it mean to be personally aware? What does it mean to be really personally aware? Okay, so we want to look at that. We want to explore some of these questions. Do you like what you're doing right now? That's the question you want to ask yourself. Do you like what you're doing right now? Do you like what you're doing right now? And I'm not just talking about business. Do you like what you're doing right now as a husband, as a father? Do you like what you're doing right now? Maybe as a career? Do you like what you're doing now? If you're not enjoying what you're doing for a living, you need to take some time to explore why. Why are you doing that job? Why are you still stuck in the same place as a spouse or a husband or a father? I want to make this personal to you. I hope this is helping you guys. It's helped me a lot. I've done a lot of reflection this week on this very area. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I wasting time over here if it's not fulfilling some things over here? Why is it taken away from my family or my business or this? Why? That's the question you want to ask yourself tonight. Okay? Let me give you some more. Consider the example. If a person sets out to run a mile and 3/4 of a mile ahead of there is a cliff, should that person try to finish running that mile just because he started out to do so? Should he ask yourself the question, should he continue to do that? Should he continue to keep running that mile just because he did so? What is what you are doing right now? Is it simply the wrong direction? You ask yourself, what am I doing right now? Is it simply the wrong direction? Is it simply the wrong, am I taking this wrong route? Okay, sometimes we take a longer route when there's a shorter route. And really having that opportunity to take the shorter route. Okay, think about that. Changing what you were doing is a risk, but what if you didn't change? Which risk would you rather live with? Let me say that again. Changing what you're doing is a risk, but what if you didn't change? Which risk would you rather live with? Risk, brothers, I'm telling you, it takes risk. It takes risk to to lead people. It takes risk. Right now you're risk leading your family because they're looking for you for support. They're looking for your leadership, your guiding. And here's the deal: you're taking a risk to get on this webinar for the next couple of weeks to make sure that you grow. It is a risk, my friends. You got to understand that it is a deep risk. And once you know that, it will begin to say, sometimes taking a risk. I'd rather take a risk than to not do something that I probably could have achieved. Okay. So what would you like to do? The question is of direct passion. There is a connection between defining your purpose, finding your purpose and reaching your potential. Let me say it. There's a definition connected with defining your purpose and reaching your potential. The reason passion helps one reach their potential is that you can't go where you hate going. Passion gives you an advantage over these who have none, and passion gives you energy. It gives you energy. Let me say this again. If you knew you could not fail, what would you do? That is it is a mind-blowing thing. Think about that. I would highlight it in your journal, and I've left that up there because I want you to really meditate on. Think about that. If you knew you could not fail, what would you do? What would you do? It's about risk, my friends. It's about risk. Move that one. Okay. So finding your passion requires listening to your heart. Feeling matters. And I set that right there. I showed you right there. Here it is. Look at this right here. Do you like what you're doing? Those are questions I want you to ask yourself. Do I like what I'm doing? Don't we love advocate. We love that. We know that. We know we have a purpose there. So that's not the equation. But right now, do you like what you're doing? Do you like where you are right now financially? Are you liking where you are time-wise? Are you liking right now where your growth is? Are you liking where you are has a family, has a husband, has a father? Or what do you like what you're doing right now? Or do you like where you are? That's what you got to ask yourself. And no one can help you do that but yourself. And it's called reflecting. Tonight, what I want to do is to have you leave tonight on this webinar, reflecting on this stuff. Reflecting, get in your journals. I want to make you so uncomfortable to the point that you have to get up in the middle of the night and write down your passion and begin to map it out. Because here's the deal. Once you map out where you're going, people will begin to notice the elevation of your growth. And when they understand the elevation of your growth, they're inside of every man. There is a champion. There's a lion that wants to rise up within them. But that lion, when they lock their eyes on what they're going to attack, they become passionate about what they're going to attack. And what I want you to become encouraged, my brothers, is to lock your passion in what you're attacking. Is it more time? Is it more getting out of debt? Is it more spending quality time with your spouse? Is it more going to sports events? Is whatever you're locking your passion in, lock it in and go after it so that you can become the champion that the Father, the designer, maker made you to become. I hope this is helping you. This is good. I get fired up over this stuff. Finding your passion and purpose. What would you like to be doing? It's all about a heart check. It's a heart check. Burnout is not doing too much of something. Burnout is doing any amount of the wrong thing. Are you doing the wrong thing right now? Are you burned out? Because if you're burned out, you're doing. It's about doing. Am I doing it right now? Because someone who's passionate will continually doing it. They will have a passion. They never really get burned out. I am passionate about leadership. I am passionate about pastoring. I am passionate about ministry. I am passionate about my family. I am passionate about people and business. All right. So let's keep going. I hope you got that down. Finding your passion and purpose. Can you do what you want to do? Can you do what you want to do? Let's keep going. Can you do what you would like to do? Dreams are necessary for success, but not every dream is possible due to natural limitations. Do you know the difference between what you want and what you are good at? Do you know that? Let me say it again. Do you know the difference between what you want and what you are good at? Do you know what drives you and gives you satisfaction, that satisfy you? Do you know what drives you, that gives you satisfaction, that gives you joy? Do you know what your value and priorities are, and what are your organization values and priorities are? What are your organizations? Many of us we're all in business. That is an organization. That is your business. What is your core values for your business? Not for your family. What is your core values for your business? What happens when your values and priorities differ with the organization of which you are part of, and are you willing to change yours? Are you willing to change yours? I love the quote by Samuel Jackson. Almost every man wants part of his life in an attempt to display qualities which he does not possess. Let me say it again. It's a mouthful. That's so good. That's so amazing. Really, really good. Almost every man wants part of his life in an attempt to display qualities which he does not possess. What are your unique talents and gifts? What are your unique talents and gifts? What are your unique talents and gifts? Write them down. Take time to write them down. And what are your and once you know what your unique talents and gifts are, begin to hone in on that, perfect that. Do you know why you want to do what you would like to do? This is the motivator. This is the motivated question I want to give you. Every good thing done with wrong motives can become a disaster. Everything with wrong motives can become a disaster. Let me go back there. Sorry, guys. So write that down. Every good thing done with wrong motives can become a disaster. Do you know what to do so you can do what you want to do? Do you know what you want to do so you can do what you want to do? This is what the question I call the what now. This is what I call the what now. Okay? And once we know what we call the what now, how do you want to do what you want to do? What we call the awareness. Become very curious of every choice you make. Be very conscious of every choice you want to make. Be very conscious. Take it through. Matter of fact, take it through prayer. Here's a great scripture I love to quote, and I'm going to quote this on here. Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. All things. So take time and be aware. Awareness is becoming very conscious of every choice you make. Action. It's all about right now. It's all about your goals. You set goals out. I use a thing that I went back to this past week, guys. I had to sit down and I had to really map out. And we're going to talk about this later on, but it's called being consistent. And I had to write down, what am I consistent in and what am I not consistent in? And then I had to work on the areas that I'm not consistent in, very consistent with. And I had to make goals around those things. And I made daily activities, 5 priorities, so that I can become consistent in those areas. You got to ask yourself, because it's action. We talk about action. The major difference between these who do it and these who don't do it is these who do it, do it. Are you a person of doing it? Are you the one that says, I'm going to do it? I put my mind to it. I got the goal and I'm going to do it. Sometimes you make a commitment and then you don't want to follow through that commitment because then you second guess it. Sometimes we make commitments out of deep emotion. And then once we realize we made a commitment, we try to retract it or we make excuses for those. So actions birthed through passion and purpose. Accountability. This can be shared accountability with a friend or a coach, or personal accountability by writing things down and tracking your progress. Are you keeping a calendar? Are you keeping something daily that is making you find your goals, define your goals? Are you keeping it down? Is your wife the only one that keeps a calendar? You should keep a calendar. You should both keep a calendar and have goals around daily activity. And as I speak to you, man, are you accountable in those areas? Okay. And then attraction. Who are the people you are attracting? Are they like-minded in success? Who are you attracting? Are they like-minded in success? Who are you attracting? Who are you attracting, my friends? Okay, let me move on. And not be. The questions of a mentor and coach. Here's what a mentor and coach says. And this is what I ask people all the time, and I coach them through. Do you have one or more of the B principles? The B. I call this, it was what John loves, he calls it the B principles. And this is something I want you to write down, the B, and keep this. Get the B principle is this: get committed. If you have to, pay people for their time and advice. Okay, people get in coaching with me. They go to our website. They get paid for some life coaching. Coaching is a huge thing around the world now. A lot of pastors and leaders around the world are becoming life coaches. I am a certified life coach with John Maxwell, and I have my own coaching practice. We have our own coaching academy where we certify other life coaches. And so we have a couple coaches and around the world, but get coaches. I got a coach last summer, and I'm getting coached by John Maxwell and all the others. I mean, it just goes on. Here's the deal: get committed. Get committed. Get committed. Men are not. Some men, we start something, we don't finish it. Okay, and get committed. Be consistent. Meet regular with someone who can help you. Do you have someone that you can meet with consistently that can help you? Ask yourself, do I have someone? If you don't, find somebody. Make yourself available. Don't overthink it. Be transparent. Okay? Be creative. Learn from people even if you can't meet them. Learn from people if you can't even meet them. We're all learning from John Maxwell right now. Okay? Be purposeful. Prepare every interaction. Don't wing it. Be reflective. Reflect on each encounter and discover what you are learning. Be grateful. Always show appreciation for what you are learning from others. Always show appreciation for what you're learning from others. Then find a coach or a mentor. Okay? Here's we're talking about find that coach, be that mentor. Find that mentor. If you have someone responsible to this relationship, possess a teachable spirit. But always be teachable. Always be prepared. Ask questions. I'm reading a powerful book right now on questions. It's amazing. Rocking My World by John. Just got done. He just wrote it and just published it and just came out this month. Demonstrate learning from them. Be accountable. Okay. And then if you are a mentor, you should focus on teaching on the following areas. Maybe you're a mentor. Maybe you are mentoring other folks. Strengths, be temperate, track your track record, passion, choices, advice, support, resources, feedback, and encouragement. Coaching, mentor, relationship. Here's what I ask you. You hear the arrows? Sorry, I got to get there myself. In the mentor relationship, it's important for a mentee to explore his or her own learning by observing this passion. This is something I use at home as well. when I'm talking with my kids and mentoring, and my wife. I just had some coaching time with my wife yesterday, and coaching her through some things. Okay, here is what I ask you. Here's what I heard you say. Here's what I did. And now I can ask more questions. You see that process, that relationship, building that relationship. You can do that all within your own self as a husband, as a leader. Here's what I ask of you. Sometimes I ask myself, I put myself in, here's what Clyde needs to ask himself. Here's what I've heard. Here's what I heard, what I thought and sensed. Here's what I got out of the book that I'm reading. And then I ask myself the questions, what did I get out of this book? Especially when we're reading the Word of God. What did I get out of this book? God, what do you want me to learn from this? Okay. Now, and then you ask more questions. The goal to find a mentor relationship is mutually beneficial. You will pay the price to do what you want to do. Explore this notion. What will it cost to change? What will it cost you to change? It will cost everything. Remember, most people are not willing to pay the price for change. Some people will not pay the price for change. Can you start doing what you like to do? Talk about that idea of starting a score and unprepared. Let me ask you this. When will you start doing what you want to do? When will you start doing what you want to do? It all goes back to you. You're the variable. You are the variable. Look at your watch and tell me when it strikes someday. We all use that word. Oh, I'll do it someday. I'll move someday. How many times has your wife asked you? How many times have you said in your journal, put down in your journal, I'm going to start this one day? What project that you have left off that you said you'll start it one day? Okay, let me keep moving on. What will it be like when you get to do what you want to do? What would that be like? What would that be like? What would that be like doing what you like to do? What would that look like? What does success look like for you? Ask yourself that question. What does success look like for you? The two greatest days in your life are when you were born and the day you discovered why. The most important days in your life is when you were born and the day you discovered when you find out why. My friends, oh man. Man. Let me read something for you. This is not in the page, but I just felt compelled to read this to you. Let me share this with you. Larry King, who has made his living speaking to people, as a television talk show host, believes that asking questions is the secret of good conversation. He says, I'm curious about everything. And if I'm at a cocktail party, I often ask my favorite question, why? If a man tells me he and his family are moving to another city, why? A woman is changing jobs. Why? Someone's roots for that meant why. See that there's powerful in asking that why. Why? And he goes on to say, on my television show, I probably use this word more than any other. It is the greatest question ever asked, and it always will be. And it is certainly the surface way of keeping a conversation lively and interesting. You see what I'm saying? Using that why. What is your why? Well, why are you doing it? Why are you on this webinar tonight? Why are you staying up late in parts of the country? Why are you on here? Ask yourself, why are you going to do your schedule tomorrow, your to-do list tomorrow? Why? Why are you still at the same place you were last year? Why are you still at the same place spiritually than you were last year? Why are you making excuses to get up early in the morning and spend time with him in prayer? Why haven't you taken your date out and that your wife on the date? Why haven't you taken your time out for your family? Oh man. I hope this is helping somebody. Please, I know y'all love me. I hope this is helping. I hope this is helping. Okay, can y'all see me on this? Someone said they lost me on this side. Can y'all see me? Let me know. Somebody can write in here. Oh man, I think it shows me still live. I didn't got excited. Let me see. Can you see me? Or the flow? I'm here. Nick says, yeah, I'm here. Brandon, let me see who all on here. 10 to hope people on. Okay. Hopefully. Somebody talk to me. Jesus, help me. Well, hopefully somebody can still see me. Can you, did I lose you guys? I just got a text. Someone said they lost me. Let me see here. I can see the pages. Okay, Brandon, I can see the pages. Okay. Okay, good. Hopefully, Melton, hopefully you can get back on. So the two most important questions is to keep asking that why and to keep figuring out your why, okay? All right. Okay, so next week we're going to talk about the law of mirroring, but I want to do something here as we wrap this up on this side. Like I did last week. Let me recap some things, guys, for you. Let me recap some things for you tonight. What would you like to do? Let me get back up. Spend some significant amount of time answering these questions for your life. What would you like to do? What talent, skills, and opportunities do you possess for that to support your desires to do it? What motivates you from wanting to do it? What motivates you for wanting to do it? What steps must be taken to begin today to start doing what you want to do? What steps? Let me read that again. What steps must be taken to beginning today to start doing what you want to do? Have an awareness. Remember, awareness, action, accountability. What advice can you get along the way? What price are you willing to pay? And what will it cost in time, resources, sacrifice? What do you want most? What do you need to grow most in? What areas do you need to grow in? Okay? You got to ask yourself that question. And once you ask yourself that question, you will begin to see that there is value inside of you. There is value in who you are. You got to understand that you're created for more. And once you understand that, you know that you're created for more, the why becomes, it fuels your passion. Once I sat down last week and began to feel my passion by asking those questions, it was powerful. It was life-changing. It began to say, okay, I've got to go back to the basics. I've got to have a daily plan so that was in the things that were inconsistent become consistent. And some of that stuff had to do with home life. Sometimes you can help everybody else, but your own family goes lacking. You have to ask yourself that question. Okay? And as a man, we have to begin to take those things in consideration. I have to be aware of where I'm going. And I have to be aware of where I'm leading my family to go to. We're all going to a land flowing with milk and honey. That's success. You're created for success. It's in your DNA. Okay? Hang tight. I want to put on what we did last week. So hang tight with me. You might see me switch off on the screen, but just know I'm still here. Hang tight. Put John Maxwell on again. It kind of sums it up a lot. All right. Hopefully you can hear this.
The law of awareness says you must know yourself to grow yourself. James Russell Lowell, in your notes, no one can produce great things who is not thoroughly sincere in dealing with himself. What a powerful statement that is. You and I need to become aware of who we are, and we need to know what our passion is. We need to know what our purpose is. When people talk about themselves and trying to find themselves, I immediately talk to them about what is your passion, what is your purpose. Let me kind of walk you through this kind of quickly of how to figure this out, because this is so important in your awareness. The first question I would ask you about your passion is, do you like what you're doing now? Surprisingly, the majority of the people, when I ask them that question, say no. And this amazes me. I'll be just having a conversation. Hey, do you like your job? You know what? Most people say they don't. And sometimes they'll even look at me and say, well, you know, I don't really care for my job. What would you advise me to do? And then they don't like my advice, because when somebody tells me they don't like their job, I just immediately say, well, I quit. I have no idea. Now, please, maybe some of you can help me in the audience today. I have no idea why somebody would do something every day that they didn't like. This is beyond me. Why would a person go and do a job that they don't like and complain about it all day and call it life? And to be honest with you, I don't want to work beside them either, because it's bad enough for them to be miserable in their doing, but when they're miserable in what they're doing, guess what they do to you? They make you miserable. Haven't you just been beside miserable before? You know what I'm saying? You kind of felt good, but by the end of the day, you felt bad. And you said, well, what did I do to feel bad? You sat with that person. You know what I'm saying? So when people say, well, I don't like my job, what kind of advice do you give me? This is an IQ test. Quit. Why would you? I'm still, it's beyond me. Why would you every day do something? What is your passion? And yet I know people who literally spend their whole life. No wonder people look forward to retirement. They hardly wait to get out. It's almost like prison. They're going to be free at last. The second question is, what would you like to do? Because there is a relationship between finding your passion and reaching your potential. That's a fact.
That's good.
What would you like to do? Let me just, since we're talking about personal growth, say that if you would have known me when I was in school, junior high and high school, I tell parents all the time, when parents are worried about their kids because their kids just seem to be goofing off, they say, boy, my kids just don't seem to be buckling down. I always say, just relax, take a pill. Because if they would have seen me as a kid, as a parent, they would be greatly encouraged. Because when I went to school, it was nothing but party. There was one thing about school was your friends. Mm-hmm. And I had a whole bunch of friends. And I didn't do studies. My study hall was going around visiting my friends. That was kind of like fellowship time for me. And I was playing ball, and I was enjoying myself. And I didn't get good grades, and I just basically, I was smart enough to wing it and get through high school. If you just hang in and breathe, you get there. You know what I'm talking about. So it's not like a huge accomplishment. It's, can you just stick around long enough? They'll pass you. They kind of pass you up. You know what I mean? And my dad and I, we had these long talks. My dad and I have these long talks. He said, John, you just don't seem to be disciplined. You don't seem to be focused. You just want to play ball and be with your friends. And you're right. And I wasn't. When I went to college, it turned around immediately. Because when I went to college, I was going to get a do now and study for something I wanted to go do. And immediately I made the dean's list. Immediately I disciplined myself. Immediately I started studying. Wasn't really any problem. But can I tell you something? The reason I didn't do it in high school is because I wasn't getting what I wanted to get to go where I really wanted to go. In the moment, me being pragmatic, that I found that I got the subjects down, I could study, they were going to prepare me for the ministry. I got all excited, passionate, whole process. So you got to ask yourself, what would you like to do? Because when you find what you'd like to do, that ignites your passion. And when your passion is ignited, that begins to increase your potential. That's when you start moving up the potential ladder. Question number 3, can you do what you would like to do? That's a great question. Because some people are very passionate about doing something, but they're not any good at it. Now, if you're not any good about the thing you're passionate about, you don't want to make it a career, you want to make it a hobby. A hobby is a wonderful thing. You don't have to be good at it. You can just have it as a hobby, but don't make it a career. But I remember a guy that I had on staff out in San Diego. Dan, you'll remember this guy. I'll call him Joe, but he wasn't very happy. And I wasn't very happy because he wasn't very happy, and he was kind of dragging the rest of us down. So he and I sat down one day and we had a lunch, and I looked at him and I said, Joe, you don't seem to be happy here on staff. What would you like to do? And he looked at me and he immediately knew what he wanted to do. He said, well, really, he said, what I really want to do in life is I want to be an announcer for the Chicago Cubs. I looked at him and I said, you're in trouble. Harry Carey's been the announcer for 20 years. He's going to be the announcer for the next 20. He's an icon. He's going to be the announcer till he dies. That is not a job you're going to get. Do you have a second option? What's plan B? Plan A ain't going to happen. If you said, John, what would you really like to do? What I'd really like to do is be a professional golfer. But there's a problem. I'm not any good. And when you're not any good, it is a drawback.
Yes.
When I play golf with guys and they make bad shots and they complain, I just start laughing at them. And I say, excuse me, do you do this for a living? Well, no. Well, then rejoice. Get real happy on those bad shots, because tell me, if you were doing this for a living, you'd be a poor man. You wouldn't have any money. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about when you're ready to find your passion and your purpose, you got to ask yourself, can I do this? There are just some things that you can't do. And it's not bad. You just have to face reality. And it's like watching the tryouts of the American Idol when they with passion get that microphone and they start belting out songs off tune, and everybody in the country's hitting the mute button. And the question I always have when I watch them is I see that and I think, dear God, where are their friends? Shouldn't somebody come up to them and just say, could we talk? You can't sing. Why are you doing this? Question number 4. Do you know people who do what you would like to do? This is very key, because when I settled in what I wanted to do, I went and looked for the most successful people. It's the story of me giving $100 to the pastors that had the largest churches in America for 30 minutes of their time. And when I was given $100 for 30 minutes of their time, at that time I was in Hillham, Indiana, and I was making $4,100 a year. I didn't even make Lyndon Johnson's poverty program. But I was so desirous to learn. I was just so desirous to learn. I know it was way out of bounds. $100 was way. I did it. I had to learn. Question number 5. Will you pay the price to do what you want to do? So many people don't reach their potential because it's a price issue. They're unwilling to pay it. Number 6, when can you start doing what you'd like to do? And here's what's wonderful. If you have something that you would like to do, but you aren't doing it now, what's wonderful is you can start. You can get going. You may not be able to get the job yet, but you can start. People come to me all the time and say, John, I would like to write a book. How should I get started? And I say, well, this is going to be a little more simple than you're ready for. But if you'd like to write a book, the way you get started is start writing. I know that seems a little basic, but books don't write themselves. Get a pen, get a paper out. How about a sentence? Start there. Get going. That's what this law is all about. Understanding yourself, understanding your passion, knowing what your purpose is, and saying, now that I know who I am, I'm going to now how to grow myself. The law of awareness. It's huge.
Awesome, guys. It really, I mean, it just really sums up really what we've been talking about tonight. Is this really the law of awareness? Is learning how to really grow yourself once you know what your passion is and your purpose. Reflect. One of the laws that we look at in the 21 Infeasible Laws of Leadership is really reflecting. John talks a lot about reflecting, taking after the day's busyness. Just go back after you lay down and just think about, did I accomplish everything that I set out to do for the day? Reflect through that. Spend time reflecting through that. Don't overthink, but just spend time. Be the leader. Be the husband. Be the father. Be the business owner. People love you. You guys are all world changers on here. So I encourage you to continue to keep growing, and I look forward to seeing you next week as we start week 3 on the law of mirroring, just that mirror, just reflecting, the law of reflection, the law of seeing, law of seeing yourself. A mirror doesn't tell you a lie; it tells you right where you are. So, guys, I appreciate you, and I'm excited that you stayed up on some of the other parts of the country. And I know you're tired, but you know what? It is going to pay you a lot in dividends and time and value. And so I'm excited. I got to add value to you today. Well, guys, God bless you. I pray your strength today. And I'll see you guys soon. And yes, I know I didn't have glasses on last week. I just got glasses. This is my 7th pair of glasses. And so I do wear glasses. This is who I am. So got a different swagger this time, old school style. So I hope you enjoy those. But guys, God bless you. We love you. And we just encouraged by you. And we just know that God's going to do some great things through you. And we're excited for you. So be tuned. Stay tuned for next week as we meet again. Take care and God bless you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.